I'm VidHead85. If you're deaf or hard of hearing, I will write a post. Link below. Thank you. Take a look at the picture of the woman here. This woman is the first Black woman to be in the line of succession of the U.S. presidency. First Black woman to represent the U.S. as a diplomat, civil rights activist, first Black woman to be Dean of Harvard University School of Law, one of the directors of IBM, and was honored in 2000 with a stamp. This is Unlearned History, Episode 2. This woman's name is Patricia Roberts Harris. She was born in Mattoon, Illinois in 1924. Her father was a dining car waiter. She graduated in 1945 from Harvard University summa cum laude and received her JD in 1960 as valedictorian of 94 students. She made a name for herself in Democratic politics, eventually seconding the nomination of Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964. 1 year later, Johnson had named her ambassador to Luxembourg, a post she served until 1967. In 1969, she was the first Black woman to serve as Dean of Harvard University School of Law, her alma mater. And in 1972, she was again at the Democratic National Convention as a permanent chairperson for the Credentials Committee, who examine a credential if people are eligible to run for said office. In 1977, Harris was nominated by former President Jimmy Carter to serve as Secretary of HUD. She was challenged by Republican William Proxmire about her ability to represent the poor. Her famous words of response was this: "You do not seem to understand who I am. I am a Black woman, the daughter of a dining car waiter. I am a woman who couldn't buy a house 8 years ago in certain parts of the District of Columbia. I didn't start out as a member of a prestigious law firm, but as a woman who needed a scholarship to go to school. If you think I've forgotten that, you are wrong." Once installed, she dispelled any doubts about her leadership abilities. She lobbied for congressional monies to build more subsidized housing, reshaped the focus of HUD, revitalized neighborhoods and deteriorating communities. She wanted to replace public housing with a voucher system to provide the poor with more choices for housing. In 1979, as Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare, she protected social programs from a lot of budget cuts. In 1980, she was named the first secretary of the newly reorganized Department of Health and Human Services until Jimmy Carter left office in 1981. In 1982, she unsuccessfully ran for mayor of D.C., losing to Marion Barry. That year, she was selected as a permanent professor at the George Washington National Law Center, where she worked until she succumbed to breast cancer on March 23, 1985. I'd wanted to do a project about a lesser-known Black American, and she was my pick. I'm glad to research this wonderful woman who was a trailblazer while helping people who grew up as she had. She made it and reached back to help others do what she had done. Rest in peace, Patricia Roberts Harris. Thank you for joining me for Unlearned History, Episode 2.